Good morning, and welcome to your daily Farm and Home Show, brought to you by the University of Kentucky Cooperative Extension Service. And now, here's your host.
Good morning, and welcome back to the Farm and Home Show. Today is High Tunnel Talk number 5. We're going to be talking about some challenges associated with those high tunnel food production type systems. And to talk to us about it today is Rachel Rudolph, and she's our Extension Vegetable Specialist with the University of Kentucky Cooperative Extension Service. Glad to have you back.
Yeah, the last day.
Yeah, woohoo! I know that there are some challenges associated with growing in high tunnels, and you're going to help us prevent some of those.
Well, hopefully.
Yes. You're going to give us some of those proactive approaches.
Some words of wisdom, maybe.
That's right.
It's worth what you pay for it, maybe.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, so we mentioned earlier in the week about soil sampling, and that's a really important component to helping prevent and being just planning ahead and preparing for crop production. So another component of that soil sample in high tunnels is requesting a soluble salts test, and that's something the county agent can help with. So because there's no rainfall inside a high tunnel, right, it's a covered structure, you don't get that nutrient leaching that you would in an open field. And so a lot of those nutrients from fertilizers, right, build up right around the root zone. And so you would say, okay, well, maybe that's not a bad idea, then I just don't have to put down more fertilizer.
Right.
But unfortunately, it just doesn't work that way. And so that's where the soluble salts and the soil salinity can increase over time under this covered structure.
Yeah, and so you mentioned that soluble salts. That's a little bit extra to go in with your soil sample.
Well, so if you go through UK, it's an extra $4 for that test. And so certainly maybe in the first year, maybe that's not something you're worried about, right, if you've just put your tunnel up.
Sure.
But certainly year 2, 3, 4, 5, that would be something I would want to monitor over time and know where you started and kind of know where you're at currently.
Right, and like you said, you probably want to keep records of that.
Right, yeah, keeping records, having those soil tests handy from previous seasons, that's going to be helpful in engaging, okay, have I done this right? Am I applying too much of this or too much of that from year to year? It's hard to remember just, from memory.
Oh, yeah.
So it's good to have that soil test ready.
Do you recommend doing soil tests every year?
For vegetable growers, that is generally what we recommend, especially for growers that are producing something with a fruit. So tomatoes, peppers, right? They're not fruit in the they're fruit in the botanical sense, right? So tomato fruit. A lot of those crops are prone to having kind of nutrient disorders, and it shows in the fruit, which can make them unmarketable. And so obviously that's going to hurt the grower's bottom line.
Yeah, and like you said, just keeping an eye on some of those levels, because those P's and K's, phosphorus and potassium, can get out of whack too.
Right. And so high soil salinity, the reason it's a problem, right, is it can burn plants, it can stunt growth, it can cause yield reductions. And so just monitoring that over time is going to be really important.
Correct. Now, what about for some of the other challenges associated with high tunnel production?
Well, I know growers know this, and but we're going to say it again, that crop rotation is going to be really important. So movable tunnels, we didn't bring this up earlier in the week, but if people only want to grow one crop and one crop only, but they want a tunnel, they may want to consider having a movable tunnel. So you're using a new piece of ground each season, and then you're kind of rotating.
So you're moving that.
You're moving the tunnel and you're on new soil. That's an option. But otherwise, if you have a stationary tunnel that can't be moved from year to year, then I would highly recommend, rotating out of the crop family. So if you grew a solanaceous crop, like a tomato, an eggplant, a bell pepper, that type of thing, then you probably don't want to follow with that. Or if you have a diversified high tunnel, right, where you've got a lot of different stuff in there all at the same time, then just monitor where you put that each year. So if your tomatoes were on this side last year, then put them somewhere else in the tunnel the next year.
Right. And you have a great guide that you all have put out here. If anybody's interested in picking up one of those that can kind of look, you can see what might be issues as well.
This guide's an update. It's a great resource. It has lots of photos in it. It covers nutrient disorders, so abiotic problems, common pests and then common pathogens,
Right.
foliar and soil-borne.
Gotcha. So if you're interested in picking up one of these, you can certainly do that. Rachel, thank you for joining us, and
Yeah.
we'll see you next week on More Farm and Home.
If you have questions about today's topic, please call the Warren County Extension Office at the number on your screen. Thanks for watching and have a great day.